Welcome to your weekly dose of Xbox Gamepass Quest info. This week we have first impressions of Hotshot Racing, including 3 things I do like and 3 things I don't, so stick around for that. Every week on Tuesday around lunchtime here in the US, Gamepass quests get updated. The weekly quests are reset, and there are 1 or 2 quests that are specific to a game that get added in. If you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, that number is 2. If you are not, the number is 1. As always, if you're already familiar with the weekly quests and just want to see what's new, then use the timecodes below to skip ahead. Then you can hear about Sniper Elite 4 and Hotshot Racing. For everyone else, let's dig right in. The first weekly quest we'll talk about is complete 4 daily quests for 10 points. Every day you get 2 daily quests. Play a Game Pass game, log into the mobile app. You can knock this out in 2 days, and generally speaking you should, and then you should keep doing it for the other 5 days of the week as well, because you need to get a lot of these done by the end of the month for 1,000 bonus points. Next, and often the first one completed, is earn an achievement in Game Pass. This is for another 10 points. And also, this should not be too much of a struggle unless you're one of those types of people that hates leaving games partially completed on achievements. If that's the case, you may struggle because some games take a lot of time and effort to get that 1,000 gamer score in. Finally, we have Earn Your Way for 10 more points. In this one, you must either complete 3 Game Pass game achievements, see above for how easy or hard that could be, or play 3 different Game Pass games. You cannot mix and match this, so if you do 2 Game Pass games and then try to get an achievement, that's not going to work. These quests are all the same every week, but next we're going to start talking about the 2 games that change every week. Everyone who skipped ahead probably assumes I used the same clip for the weekly set that I just went over. And I'm getting there. I'm probably going to do it soon, but I haven't started doing that yet. If you like getting these reviews every week, even if it's just for the review itself, make sure you thumbs up this video. The more content like this that you do that for, the more of it you'll see, and eventually you'll start getting these even if you haven't subscribed. This week, the 50-point game-specific quest is for Sniper Elite 4, and actually it's a double-point quest, which means you'll get 100 points for completing it. To complete this, you have to get 10 solo and co-op kills, and this is exclusive to Game Pass Ultimate members. Now when it says 10 solo in co-op, I can tell you that 10 solo kills is all you need to do because I've actually completed this quest already. Single player works, you do not need to get into co-op. This week's 25-point quest is for Hotshot Racing, which tells us to enjoy an exhilarating driving experience. The 25-point quest generally means you need to launch the game, and then you can quit and uninstall even before the game finishes loading to that initial screen. This week that didn't work for me. I actually didn't get this quest completed until I'd played through a few races and completed a Grand Prix. For me, this wasn't a problem. But if you're looking to not get any achievements, I'd check in with some other sources to see what their experience was, because I may have had a bugged instance of the quest. I played this game on an Xbox One X, still waiting for a chance to order an Xbox Series X. I was wearing Turtle Beach Stealth 600 headphones and using the controller that came with the console while I was playing on a 27-inch 4K HDR monitor. Check down below for my system specs, including the system I used to record the footage. This arcade racing game was developed by Lucky Mountain Games and Sumo Digital, then published by Curve Digital in September of 2020. This is specifically an arcade racer. The cars have attributes for power, speed, and drift, and there is no tuning available for individual cars. Your car and your character do have cosmetic upgrades available, and you get these by winning races to earn credits and then spending these credits. Upgrades include things like color schemes and bodywork. The bodywork is only visual though, it doesn't actually give you an advantage on the track. The race physics in the game are geared towards fun and not realism, and it kinda works. The art style in this game is kind of a cel-shaded, kind of an old school polygon cartoon look here. This is not a game about realism. The track scenery is simple, and the colors felt overall a little bit muted to me. The 4K didn't feel that warranted in this game over 1080p, and there was no HDR. There were times the graphic choices made it difficult to see the upcoming track from the in-car view due to the color and texture, but usually this was not a problem. The sound effects in this game weren't anything special, and the music felt like a generic upbeat soundtrack. There was dialogue at times as well, and again, there was nothing special, outstanding, or wrong about this dialogue. It was just a part of the experience. The game is listed at $20, $13.50-ish after a Gamepass discount as of the time I made this recording. There is one DLC, but it is a free one, so you don't have to worry about paying for it separately. There isn't much going on when it comes to story here, but there's also not nothing. You pick a racer and hit the tracks without much more than a catchphrase tossed out, and you get some more catchphrases while you're running around the track. It turns out though, after you beat a circuit with the racer, there's a short post-race segment where the racer has a brief monologue that tells you about their story. It's nothing deep, and I've seen more exposition in fighting games before, but it is a little something, and it's great to see that they went through the effort to put something there. The gameplay is fun. As I mentioned, this is an arcade racer. You can relatively easily drift around a full hairpin with just a little bit of practice. That's not to say there isn't deep gameplay, and going online would probably serve me up a piece of humble pie, but overall the game is set up to be more fun than hard. There are 3 difficulty settings to choose from when starting a race. I played on normal, and it is entirely possible that the physics are more realistic on hard and expert, but I suspect those settings are more about how hard the other racers are to beat than how realistic the vehicle physics and damage are. The controls are simple. You use the left stick to steer, you use the triggers for gas and brake, there's a handbrake button, a boost button. You can look around with the right analog stick, but it's generally not necessary. The camera is adjustable with another button on the controller, but I really struggle to play even arcade racers from anywhere but the driver's seat. The gameplay loop here is a pretty simple race and win gameplay loop. There is some replayability, the first line of which is completing all of the unlockables by earning enough money to buy them all. Getting first on all 3 difficulty levels on all races would be another reason to draw you back in. There's also a multiplayer mode, and if you get into the multiplayer racing, I'm sure that will keep you coming back for more regularly. Though I didn't spend much time with this game, there are some things I wasn't a huge fan of. The first is how the boost, a necessary mechanic, is tied to drifting, but this relationship is not made clear to you as you start playing the game. Perhaps I'm not as good at figuring out games as I used to be, but I feel a core mechanic like this should have been made painfully obvious when the game was started. I also didn't find the music in the game particularly inspiring. As I mentioned, it felt like a generic upbeat track. I suspect that helped keep costs down though, and that also goes for the graphic choices, my third dislike. This game is priced significantly lower than your standard AAA racing game, but at what cost? The graphics were done a little too Spartan and simple, and as I mentioned earlier, it made some areas of the track difficult to read while racing from the driver's seat. If you like getting reviews of Game Pass games, make sure you subscribe down below. Subscriptions tell me that these are valuable to you, and I can justify spending more time getting these ready faster. I do like some things about this game. The way drifting is set up was just plain fun, even in cars that aren't specifically good at drifting. This is an arcade racer, and the drifting mechanic is solid proof. I also enjoyed the simplicity of getting to a race and ripping around the track. Some of the more simulation-oriented and career simulation-oriented racing games have gotten so complex that driving can feel almost secondary. Finally, I enjoy the way the character you choose has little catchphrases while racing. Hit a perfect line, drift a corner just so, or bang into the wall, and you may get a quip from the driver you're playing as. This just adds another element of fun and whimsy to this game. My final verdict on this game is a pass, though it is a soft pass. Difficulty settings in modern AAA racing games generally allow you to achieve an experience close to this one, though the cost of the game is going to be significantly higher. However, for that price, you're going to get much nicer environments, many more vehicles, multiple racing styles, and overall a wider gamut of experiences that, in my opinion, outweighs the extra spending that you'll have to do. However, if you love racing games and every now and then you want to get into an arcade racer without messing with settings, then you could pick this up as something to scratch that itch when the time comes around. I'm always trying to get another review done, though keeping up with all the Game Pass quests would be a full-time job in and of itself. Until I can dedicate that kind of time, keep checking into the channel to see which games I do manage to get to. Maybe even catch me live on occasion, and drop some comments down below letting me know which of the Game Pass games you want to see reviewed in the future.